We're back. The back nine of the 2022 Massachusetts Grand Prix Men's Professional Championship at the beautiful Maple Hill Golf Course in Leicester, Massachusetts. Where else would we have the Massachusetts Championship than the best course in the world, which just so happens to be in Massachusetts? And the front nine was a little rough. Harry's the only one shooting under par. I'm with Casey Fleck, right next to me. You had even. Josh, David, and Kyle are 1, 2, and 6 respectively, but we're playing an aggregate score from the first round. So Casey still has the overall lead. Here's what we're playing: $1,000 to the winner, 500 second, 183rd. Thank you to Dan Snyder. Thank you to Q. Thank you to Casey White, and thank you to Rivas Marcon Sprague for your participation and making this possible. And thank you to GMT for everything you've done for the Massachusetts and New England disc golf scene. It's incredible to have all of these tournaments being covered. And now we're on the back nine of Maple Hill, and Kyle has the box, but he is 8 strokes behind. And I think for him, he is the consummate professional and never gives up, and is probably just going to go out there and do the best he can, no matter what the situation.
Absolutely. Guns blazing for Kyle from now on. Nothing to lose. These ratings don't even count. What more can you ask for, really? He's just going to go out there and rip it and have fun, see what he can do.
Well, it's a beautiful day at Maple Hill, so if it's a beautiful fall day and you're at Maple Hill, you're having a good day.
It'll be quite the uphill climb for Kyle to come back at this point, but it's not as quite of an uphill climb as this hole 10 is.
I'm sorry I laughed at that, but I did. And it isn't really far uphill. It's a very difficult hole. But it's such a good pivot hole. I feel like this really is a great transition from the front to the back.
Yeah. It goes from the spinny woods to the power open shots. And I am ripping this as hard and as far as I possibly can.
What disc is this?
That's my Just Send It D83.
Nice.
Old Glory.
How old is this disc? How long have you had it?
I've had it since January 2020.
Okay.
So almost 3 years old. And I'm pretty happy with that shot, but there's still plenty of work left to do because I literally just can't throw that far. But this hole right here, this uphill climb, this is like the reason I have my dad as my caddy.
Right. It's tough, and you get tired for sure.
And Josh had this shot out of the woods that he's just going a third straight in the basket from over 100 feet away.
What a shot. That's incredible.
Great hole to birdie as well. Yeah. Look good.
It's funny because last year Kyle threw it in for maybe like 85, 90, but It wasn't anything like that. That's an incredible shot. Now he's going to tire himself running this down, but take your moment, Josh, because that is an absolutely amazing throw in.
Anybody who lands in those pine trees is always just saying, I hope I don't bogey. I don't know how many people are thinking that they even have a birdie chance when they go in there. Because even these little short approaches on this wall can get hairy because you don't really want to land down there. But here's my look at birdie. And I'm
wow.
I'm not going to let Josh take a stroke on me here.
You sure aren't. What a shot.
I believe that's my first birdie in tournament on this hole in my career.
Barely needed the change. What a putt.
Yep, that was a big shift for me, especially bogeying the last 2 holes of the front nine. I definitely needed that one to drop right there.
Okay, so Josh threw it in and basically cut the lead or tied you, and then you're just like, absolutely not.
No, not right now. At least not right now.
Let's see if Harry can throw it in. Just a little low.
Another hard thing about running a really strong putt on this uphill shot is that if you're going chain high, you needed so much energy to get it up the hill that you're going to end up down here where Dave is, but he just hit an absolute death putt.
He's putting really well today, and You're right about that, because if that misses left or right, see you later.
Yep. Maybe even a roll away after that, and it can get real bad. Oh boy.
You hate to see that, because Harry was right there, but now he's going to fall 2 strokes back.
Definitely uncharacteristic for him from what I've seen.
And he doesn't like it. Hole 11, crush over the Christmas trees. We're heading all the way to the gold basket, tucked back into the woods.
Josh clearly went with an overstable disc, but just got that nose up, and he's going to be in the nightmare zone of trees. I have finally disciplined myself to not go for raw distance here and play a placement shot, but the wind just didn't really pick up my my shot as much as I wanted to. I want a little more flip, and I'm going to barely leak left into the pine trees, which is not what I'm looking for.
It looked like you were in that first cut, though. Did it roll further in?
It did.
It's too bad.
It's just anything to affect a run up or a backhand arm swing.
That's an absolute crush from Kyle. Past that basket there. He must be happy with that. Let's see what David can do.
This hole gets harder every year because the trees get taller.
Maybe they sold them this year.
Doubt it. I'm saying these specific ones, like these first two off the right side of the tree, off the tee. That's how wide I would like to throw my hyzer, but those trees getting taller, it kind of takes it out of play.
Talk to Steve.
I do talk to Steve, actually. I actually want him to plant some more in some spots. I think that there's a couple holes on the course that need more of the Christmas tree aesthetic that don't have it.
Like what?
Hole 16's green. I would love to see some Christmas trees put on the green around the basket.
That hole's hard enough.
It's hard, but the green is very wide open, and it feels very uncharacteristic to a Maple Hill basket to be that wide open. I mean, it's only like a 100-foot radius, maybe less around the basket. But at a course like Maple Hill, where it's a lot of wooded shots, it feels a little different. Now I have to go with a power backhand or power sidearm because my backhand option was taken away by that tree. And I executed that perfectly, but I just got a late tree that completely wiped out any hope for my shot making it to the basket.
Is Kyle throwing a flex forehand?
That's a great shot. Bad kick, though. He was going for a similar shot that I was. He was just way more in line with the gap. See how he committed and just let his arm whip that tree. That's why you want to stay away from him. Found the porcupine.
Wow, that's great. What's up, buddy? Oh.
Replay. Let's get another look at that.
Thanks, Rivas, for putting this in there. That's fun. All right. So you got
this shot. My dad told me to throw it in, but I just can't do it. I gotta lay it up. Sorry. I just said sorry. I apologized to him.
Who was that thrown out of the woods there?
I believe that was Harry. Yeah, we actually had trouble looking for Harry's disc. Had to get a little search party going. So this is Debo for birdie, I believe, after being probably the one in the deepest of the biggest trees.
What a birdie.
Yes,
that's a hero birdie. All right, so you're tied with Debo, 7 down.
Yep, and Harry's lost a little bit of his gas in the tank. He's taken a little bit of a step back. Now he's given Fleck a chance for third, and fourth place doesn't get a payout. So they're definitely still here to play.
No, the payout structure is as top heavy as it gets.
Yes.
It's $2,000 to the winner, 500 second, 183rd, and basically hoodies for everyone else.
Yep.
So you want to win this one.
And I am going to just kind of yank on this a little too much and land in my least favorite spot, potentially on the entire course. Just because I love this hole so much, I absolutely hate to mess up my tee shot here. The problem is I'm so confident that I will just rip on it, and I actually kind of need to think about it a little more, be a little more analytical.
Is that what you're trying to do, what Kyle did there? Is that more of the
No, shape? I'm trying to get higher and more right with a lot of height to get the fade at the very end, where a lot of people kind of throw the straighter shot and find themselves a little pinched on the left.
Okay.
But the thing I'm most terrified of is skipping into the woods on the left.
Okay. Because then you're dead. There's no way. Yeah. That looks even more turned over.
I actually got one of the craziest birdies ever on this hole at the MVP Open in the first round. I was deep left of the short basket in the woods and managed to throw a flex forehand into circle 2 and made my putt for birdie.
That's a great recovery shot. Look at that shot.
Yep.
Wow. Oh, so Harry poked all the way through, and he's going to have a look down there. Not easy.
Once you're committed to your line, it's really hard to get anything to settle on this green because it is severely downhill. And that's why Typically from a spot like this, I am every time going to go with a sidearm. But Josh is laying down a pretty nice backhand, but that is still kind of a scary putt.
12 and 13 green. You don't want to go long because there's it's like there's so many trees back there.
It can get very, very nasty. I think 13 is more difficult as far as beyond the basket, though.
Yeah.
12 does have that little ditch, and it's not easy to putt out of the ditch. Like if you make a putt out of that ditch, it's very respectable. But the deep, deep trouble on 13, I mean, it can get real bad.
Yeah. Oh, I was wrong. What happened?
That was not my shot.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
And then I'm going to roll away. And this is exactly the trouble I was talking about.
Yeah.
Way down there. And now I'm not even going to have an option to try and make it. Yeah, the upshot you were watching was Harry's upshot coming in.
Okay.
So Debo being tied with me, that would have been to gain at least 2 on me. As I trek it way down in the woods, going to walk about in the forest. I literally have nothing. I'm just trying to get it close and get this hole over with.
The joy of disc golf.
Yep.
But that's not bad.
It's my favorite hole in the course, doing me real dirty.
Yeah. I mean, what happens from the tee shot, though, you know?
Yes.
It's like...
And I unfortunately made similar mistakes at the MVP Open and have not learned my lesson. It is a new tee pad, though, and I'm still trying to get it dialed, and I am making the mistake of I'm still throwing it as confidently as I used to throw the old one, where I have to give it a little more respect.
So par for Harry.
Yeah, I believe it's pars for everybody except me.
That is right. So you're back to 6, and that means Josh has a 1-stroke lead going into hole 13.
Yes, he does, and that is only going to cause him trouble.
Hole 13, long, downhill, par 3.
Josh is going to do the very popular miss, which is that 2 flippy on the right side. Good news is he did punch through, at least through the thicker pines there. And that's the first goal when you see it drifting off to the right side like that.
And that's over near the 14 diamond tee pad?
Yes, it's quite a bit up the hill from it, but if the disc hit nothing, it's heading in the direction of the diamond tee pad.
So what's your play here?
My play is to throw an understable to straight mid-range, very similar to what Dave is doing here, and then get that late flip, but he just barely missed it, I believe.
Okay.
And that is a very good shot. Dave's throwing a rock, though. That's what I used to throw on this hole.
So what are you throwing now?
Depends on the wind and depends on what's in my bag. I can throw a MD3 or a MD1 and sometimes a XO hard method, but you see that late flip is really what I'm looking for every time.
A method's not going to do that, though, is it?
A really beat up XO hard one in the putter plastic, yes.
Okay.
I've been using it for about 1.5 years, and it only comes out for specific shots like this one. And Harry's actually throwing a vapor method, which is just so beat up that it goes dead straight.
Interesting.
Let's see what I'm throwing.
Every time I throw a method, it just meat hooks. It goes straight left.
Okay, so I'm actually throwing FD because I just said screw it. I'm sick of throwing my mid-ranges like crap on this hole. Let's just throw a driver right at it. And I'm very happy with my decision. Even though I went a little long, because landing in that spot is still an opportunity where I have been throwing my mid-ranges all the way left and all the way right on this hole, and I was just fed up.
Yeah, because there's Josh's shot, and there's nothing there. I mean, you're hoping to get through.
Yes, and I have landed in very, very simple spots on this hole and completely failed to get up and down, and that's more demoralizing than a missed birdie putt.
Okay. So let's see it.
This is my opportunity for birdie.
Oh, sit.
Thankful it didn't roll. However, I absolutely needed to make that. I was not even calling it an option to miss.
Sit. Spit from
This
Harry.
is the deep depths of hole 13 green, like I was saying, that can come up way quicker than hole 12 does. Mine required a little bit of a roll away. Harry, all he did was sail his putt a little bit, and he ended up way down there.
David gave up on that halfway through his stroke.
Yep. We're also reaching the tail end of a 36-hole day.
Yes.
And
Okay.
the gas is definitely running out in, I think, everybody's tank, maybe besides mine.
You should speak to that because it's a lot of golf, and the Gold Course is just, it can be brutal. So I think because other players might not be used to these like long professional courses, do you think that gave you an edge?
No, I just think that where I was heading into the second round, I didn't really have a lot of work to do. So the adversity just basically made it more nerve-wracking and stressful and having them breathing on me. But being Dave or Harry coming into the round 3 back, knowing I have to do something great when they have just those little bit of slip-ups, that's what's stopping them from being in contention. So it's really just a matter of mindset entering the round and dealing with the adversities in different ways.
Okay.
And that's not to blame for them. I would probably be feeling the exact same way if I was in their shoes.
But it is a lot of golf. I mean, in the MVP Open, you play one round. This hole 14, one of the most famous holes in golf. You play one round a day, but at this tournament, you go play 18, you play Royal Glory, and then you play Gold. It's a different type of challenge.
I can't remember the last time I played another round of disc golf in the same day that I played the Golds at Maple Hill. But since being on tour, Maple Hill Golds is actually not even that long of a course. Right. I mean, the shots are multiple up shots, but like the fact that I get to throw mid-range off the tee more than 4 times is unheard of on tour.
Right.
And I'm going with the same disc that I threw on hole 8. And I actually parked this in the final round of the MVP Open, and that was the last time I threw it here. So I'm really just trying to trust it, but I am scared. And that's not a problem. It's better than throwing it in the water. It's just that I felt like I was better than that, and I could have committed way more.
So we should have commented on Josh's shot, which also sort of bailed out short and left and is down kind of where you are, maybe even shorter.
So Josh threw a very similar shot to everybody that wants to throw it out safe to the left. The problem is he threw it super inside right away. So he actually leaked into the secondary pond that is over the ridge and still ended up out of bounds.
Oh, wow.
Even though he was playing it safe. But yeah, we actually almost had a lost disc call, but he threw a provisional from the drop zone before we went to go play it, and here it is. So we don't know that he's out of bounds yet. We're thinking he's not, but that one splashes in the water. So now it's a weird thing where if we go and find his disc in the pond and he's out of bounds, he's now playing from the 3rd drop zone. But if we can't find his disc at all, then he has to go to re-tee, and he can actually improve on where he's sitting right now from his provisional shot. So it was definitely a little bit of a roller coaster in my mind, and I actually wanted to make that and just put the dagger right on it. But we'll take the par. Josh is taking a 6, it looks like.
So that was his putt from the 2nd drop zone?
That was no. I don't think we got to see his shot from the 2nd drop zone. Oh no, here it is. Here it is. Yeah. So he needs to make this to only lose 2 to me.
And then it's off the cage.
I forgot they moved the drop zone to a putt. It used to be on the road about 100 feet away. Dave's taking the layup. We got the pile of this. Yeah. We all put our feet in.
That's great.
Don't touch it. He's got a putt.
Debo's gonna come tap him out.
That is amazing.
So that is a 3-stroke swing there on hole 14, and that it's not unlike the Pro Tour. Hole 14 is pivotal, but it means that you're back in the lead.
Yeah, breath of fresh air. I mean, back to where I was 3 holes in, 2 holes in, and feeling good. The problem is that this hole, for some reason, it's one of those things like I was saying, we never really get to throw mid-ranges. This hole has just troubled me ever since I went on tour. And I can't pick a disc, and I can't pick a speed if I want to throw it hard or soft. So I basically just pick one and commit to it and just hope.
Let's see Harry's shot here on replay.
He's going with that method again.
Yeah. Nice little skip up to that tree there. Good shot.
A good look.
Yep. Now let's see. Big shot from Debo to see if he can stay in.
He's going with
things
that
here.
leopard again. I'm very shocked by some of his disc choices. But he does like to throw drivers more than most, but at the same time, he throws putters more than most. So it's kind of a funny trickery. And I absolutely railed a tree. It doesn't seem like we watched my shot. But I couldn't decide what I wanted to do, so I just decided to do what I do every time and put myself way off in jail
There you
and
are.
create a nightmare scenario for myself, even after I just gained 3 strokes.
Wow.
And that shot didn't go very far.
It's a crazy sport sometimes, isn't it? You're up and you're down within 5 minutes of each other. David has a little forehand to get out of there. And here you are on your third.
Just saving the bogey. Nothing more to do. Even clip a tree so the work's not done. Can't be easy.
Debo's second.
Yep. And that just shows you right there the competitor that Debo is. Take a 6 on one hole and gain 2 strokes right back in the next.
He just doesn't go away.
And that means if I don't make my bogey putt, then we're going to be tied for the lead again.
Yeah, let's go.
Such a solid player. What a shot.
Great putt.
Harry for a birdie. He definitely needs one. He hasn't scored one in a little bit. Oh, wow. He knew it.
He did. And that would have taken him to 5 right there. But it spit out left, so he remains 2 back, and this is your par putt, which you need.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Right on the pole.
Once I tossed that one in, I didn't really have much doubt in me. I just had stress. You know what I mean? I actually changed my outfit at lunch because I changed into the outfit, which is my Augusta Nationals Masters hat. And that means that I am coming to play. I'm coming to win.
It's a good look. Hole 16, par 3, difficult hole, and that's leaking right over to where the
but he
women's
did
mess
get lucky.
is.
He didn't hit anything.
Yep.
I believe Kyle's going to vote him here.
Just that last group
Yeah,
of
that's
trees.
a popular clump.
Yeah. Kyle has such sneaky power.
Dave releases almost every single disc on the same amount of hyzer. I know Harry can reach this one, no problem.
Look at you in the background.
Mm-hmm. I'm telling myself I'm going to ace it.
And that's off that tree in the middle there, right? The middle clump.
Yep. Didn't quite commit to the hyzer there. Definitely wanted to bury it on some more hyzer and get myself way up there, but I kicked right, and I actually don't mind that. There is OB left, and that's always the worry, is
Right.
a very strong kick to the left to send you OB.
Yes. We've seen a number of pros, their tournaments end on 16 with an OB kick left. And you actually are out in the clear, which means you have a flick in.
Yes. And I'm just basically just going to chip it up for a park job, except it's going to say no. You still got work to do. And it's not going to be easy.
Maybe they put a Christmas tree on the 16th green. You'd be behind that.
Yeah.
So. Kyle with a nice effort there. Harry did make it a little further than I thought. All right, here's Debo for his 2.
I'm just going to settle for par.
That was a full send, though.
Oh, absolutely. Dave just laying it up. Yep. Seems like a minimum trouble hole for the rest of the group. Clean up some pars.
Again? Yep. Disqualified. That's it. I win. You guys all DQ'd. No, just pick it up. Last person left. It's X. Just pick it up. Oh, yeah. X here.
Okay, now we're at hole 17. 2 holes to play in the Grand Prix. You and Josh at 5.
And Josh is going to yank it straight through the trees on the right, but get lucky enough to be out into the Christmas trees. But anything early on that side of the fairway, I mean, you're honestly considering a re-tee. It's rough in there. And he just managed to sneak all the way out. Kyle also going to have some big Christmas trees to deal with.
When you were on the tee, did you know he snuck
Oh, yeah.
through?
Yeah, I was raging. I was absolutely pissed. I've thrown that shot a couple times and it never gets through. And of course he does it. And Josh and I have been competing for years and years, and I've seen this story a couple too many times, and the finish didn't go my way. Mm-hmm. So just to go down that road again in my mind was definitely pissing me off, and I was gonna put it to bed.
But you're right there center fairway. You've got to be happy with that.
I couldn't have thrown that much better.
Yeah. And right now it's a 2-person race. It's basically you and Josh for the tournament, and Harry needs to hold off David for the 3rd place.
Yes, exactly.
And 18 is a shell of its former self in this layout.
That is a very, very big mental thing where you can be down 1, maybe even 2, and think, oh, nothing's over till it's 18. But the 18's green, the island is completely taken away from this current modified layout. So you really have to consider that. And Josh hitting some early branches there, and now he has to get up and down just to save par. And I'm in birdie range. Dave going to give himself a chance at that birdie. Kyle looking to do the same. So it looks a little too hot.
Yeah, that's tough from a patent pen, and it just hits a tree and bails out left. Oh, I think it was struck by a meteor. That's difficult. But he was okay. I mean, he got resuscitated by the meteor stick.
1 meter stick. Harry with a bomb.
We all regained our composure after that happened, and we played disc golf the rest of the way. We said that's what Kyle would want us to do, is finish this tournament.
Okay, so we completely missed my upshot. But I'm looking at about a 35-footer, I would say, maybe a little bit shorter. And Josh is now trying to save his par. So this is Josh for par. And if he misses, I can lay up and gain a stroke.
And he missed it and sat. So you're laying up the entire time?
The drama, no, I actually was going to go for it. The drama is that if I lay up, I only have 1 stroke, but I can put it to rest right here, right now. The difference is hole 18 without the island, the only difficult shot left on 18 is the tee shot. And it's honestly one of my most confident shots on the entire course. So I lined up the putt. I asked myself, do you feel like you can make this? And if I give the slightest hint of doubt, I was going to lay it up. And it doesn't appear.
Well, first we're going to see how this 3rd place match plays out, which is both Harry and David choking on edge of circle putts.
Here's me going through the drama in my head. And as soon as I had the hint of doubt, I just laid it under. So now I'm just leaving it up to my capabilities on my tee shot on 18.
And a fist bump from Josh, which is interesting.
Hole 18 is also a hole that I'm not unfamiliar with a wager on. When we first moved the tee pad back, I actually gave Steve Dodge a lot of repercussion about it. I told him how much I hated it. But then once I got really good at it, I told him that I like it and I'm better at it now. And he's like, oh, so do you think you can birdie it like half of the time? I'm like, no, like 100% of the time. So then he's like, would you put whatever, $50 on it? So I ran back down the fairway. He was standing there on 18. I ran back down the fairway, threw my drive, threw my upshot, and birdied it right then and there. So I'm not unfamiliar. And the way I felt just in that little friendly wager with Steve Dodge, the way I felt on that tee shot is the same feeling that I'm giving myself right now in this moment.
Okay, so you have a 1-stroke lead.
And the only thing that matters is a good, far, clean tee shot.
And there's $2,000 on the line this time. And you've got to think that Josh is going to birdie because this has been birdied a bunch.
Yes, of course.
So you need to birdie.
We started on this hole in the morning, and I think we all birdied it. And this is the disc that I found during the first round, so I didn't even get to throw it but I knew it. I just laced it.
And here it is from the catch cam.
That same CD3, getting that flip up.
And you did lace it. And
Not a doubt.
Yeah, and from there, it's a pitch and a putt.
With the normal 18s green, I would not be so satisfied with that, but I was very, very hopeful. Josh still going to try and put the pressure on. Finds himself in the bunker on the right.
Yeah. Now Harry has a 2-shot lead over David after 17 and hits the top of the ledge and goes straight up in the air and then right back down.
That's tough to watch.
Shades of Dylan hitting the tree early on 18 at the Grand Prix last year when he was trying to catch Kyle, but it's a tough shot. Even the MVP Open.
Venus Carlson hit the tree trying to chase Corey, or actually he was tied with Corey. Yeah, that was sad. Full 18 never fails to bring the drama.
And that's a nice second shot from Harry. Okay, so Debo's got to put it close to put some pressure on you.
Yes. From a weird patent pending stance.
And it's not bad, but it's not great.
Definitely not what he was trying to do.
Yeah.
He was definitely trying to put that right up against the pole.
So he's deep in circle 2.
Worry. He was looking for something a little more like that.
Yeah. So we should say that there is out of bounds up here on the right because there's piles of dirt, they've been doing some excavation, which is why we could not play the normal layout. And you still have about, 150 feet in?
Yeah. I mean, it's pretty short. It's just a matter of the shot. The shot before me is so easy that you just can't take it for granted. Like, there's no obstacles. There's not much distance to it. There might be a little bit of wind, but it's the hardest thing about the shot that I'm about to face is that it's so easy that it's difficult.
Why forehand?
Always.
Okay, because that's the tried and true.
If I can't jump putt approach, I'm almost always going to forehand approach.
Are you happy with that? You're about 115?
I mean, I'm happy enough, but like I know it's the same story as before. There's still work left, even if I threw it as well as I wanted to.
Okay. And now we know there is work left because
Yes.
Josh makes the birdie putt, which means if you don't make this, we're going to a playoff.
And Josh had actually already been telling me, I am so tired, I really don't want to go to a playoff. So I was like, all right, don't worry. I won't put us in a playoff. Let me just make this real quick.
And there it is. Casey White is the 2022 Massachusetts champion. And what an amazing 2 rounds, 6 down after Royal Glory and then Gold. And you got to be loving it.
Yeah, I mean, I came here to do one thing and one thing only, and that was to win. I was more determined to win this tournament than most any other tournament I've ever played, specifically for the prize money, especially after the payment I just made on my van. And, just to know that I only had one goal and I did everything in my capability to execute that, it was a very fulfilling day. And it wasn't like a oh my god win because I just felt like I knew I was gonna do it the whole day.
I think it's nice though. Your parents were there. It's sort of, this tournament is really a celebration of Massachusetts disc golf, and you're one of the main characters in that story.
And my Uncle Gary right there in the back right, he's never seen me lose a tournament before.
Oh.
He's been to, I think, 3 of my tournaments now, and I've won every single one.
Is he going to go to Worlds next year?
Yeah, he should.
Well, there you're with your stepmom, right?
Yep.
Yeah. And then we're entering the scores, and I get it. Everyone is tired, but I think everyone has a nice time. It's an interesting tournament where you have everyone there following the one card. And the champagne moment if Debo can get this open.
Harry's blocking his face in his putter. There we go. Absolutely drenched.
Yes, he did. How's the hat? Did it recover?
Yeah, it's totally fine.
Okay.
Ready for my next win.
And the trophy, the Grand Prix trophy right there with the flag and the flowers in it for you and the champagne.
Good feet! Yeah! Shout out to Sunstein, Steve, everybody. Disc Golf 978, Discmania, my competitors. Maple Hill, incredible as always.
This is my first win at Maple Hill since my AM days in 2017, I believe. Nothing better than taking the crown at Maple Hill. Best course in the world, baby.
Can we do more?
Massachusetts Grand Prix champion. And a pretty good year. I know you said in your last video that you were about it, but you finished T25 at like 7 Elite Series events.
Okay.
Yeah. And then you won this event, which is not on tour, but it's like a pretty big event for us.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
I mean, I haven't won in Massachusetts in a while. I recently have done my winning in Maine and in Vermont. So
Yeah.
to get a Massachusetts home win,
Yeah.
it's good.
And you took down a stacked field. You had to beat Harry, Kyle, Debo. And so what was the final round like?
I can't say I wasn't worried. I got real shook up a little bit there because I had a hot start. I thought that I was just going to be able to play my game, push ahead, and just kind of play carefree. I didn't allow that to happen. Too many bogeys, but came down the stretch. I just had to freaking put my head on straight, make sure that it wasn't over, because it wasn't over, and I just freaking grinded it out. Hard out.
Yeah.
It was enough.
All right, so let's talk about that. So on 17, T of 17, it's tied.
Yes.
And Debo had a little trouble early right. And you had a choice to make. You decided to lay up the putt.
Yep. Because I am very confident in my ability to nail the tee shot on 18.
Yes.
I am insanely confident in my ability to just throw the shot that needs to be thrown, and with this green, right now 18's not the same, so it's really just a chip shot. And I knew all it was if I lay this putt up, all it is a tee shot.
Yeah.
And I just confidently just ripped my CD3 for the win.
You did it. And
Yep.
so talk us through next year. So back on tour for next year?
back
And are
on
you going
tour.
back to Florida to start the season?
Yes, so like mid-December-ish, I'll head back to Florida for the off-season. Take some time to recoup in the warm weather and maybe, heat back up as the season comes around. But unfortunately, starting the season again in Vegas, so from the Atlantic coast to the Pacific coast to start the year once again. But yeah, another year on tour next year. And obviously, I just count down the days until it comes back around to New England.
Yeah. So $2,000 today, I think that's your biggest payday.
It is my biggest payday of my career.
That's awesome. We're stoked to be a part of that. And so is it going to help with touring, or do you have...
I just spent $2,000 on my van repairs on Monday.
Nice.
So this is perfect.
Absolutely. And you just had a disc release. Tell us about that.
Yeah, I just released my very first Discmania website release. So it's called the Shield Series P2s. And first disc Discmania has ever made for me that they're going to pay me. And just couldn't be happier.
All right. Now, we'll see whether you can get... It's going to be tough to qualify again next year. Maybe we'll have a Champions Exemption or something like that.
Okay, fair enough. I feel like it might be a little unfair that way, but I hope that winning the Brewster Ridge Open would be a way in again.
We'll see, or definitely Sunstein Open Memorial Day weekend. But we'll work all that out later. But anyway, congratulations.
It's going to require a flight home regardless.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So Casey White's your champion for 2022. Way to go.
Thank you.
All right. Thanks a lot, man.
All right, guys. That was a lot of fun. Thank you, Casey.
Thanks
Thank you,
for having
Rivas. Thank you, GMT. And we'll see you for the 2023 Sunstein Series. Welcome to Jungle at Cogs in April. See you then.